Hello and good evening, and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Another exciting night, evening,
Yeah.
wherever you are tuned in to The Truth Behind the Truth. We are here.
That's right.
I am excited, man. It's been a good day. It's been a real good day here in LA. What's that thing? Another good day in LA? Or it's a great day in LA?
That's
Whatever it is.
That's sort of a morning show, right? That we see every morning.
Yeah. Or somebody puts out there on their social media, it's a great day in LA. So okay. Well, it's a great day in the Carolinas too.
Yes,
it sure is a beautiful day out here.
Is it? How was the weather?
It's 70. It was 72 degrees.
Oh wow.
Nice and sunny. It felt like summertime.
Wow.
It felt humid, didn't it?
I guess you don't have the humidity yet,
No,
right?
we don't have humidity. No, it was good.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all. Oh,
well, they do, but not right now.
not right now. Not right now.
Yeah.
It's really humid out here, like it does in Atlanta.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, that's odd, really. That because being so central, because I mean you're nowhere near Wilmington, and Wilmington, of course, is the beach area and all that type of North Carolina.
Right.
But that's interesting.
It is very interesting.
You know how it doesn't cross like that. But hey, what do we get? We got 61 today. Yahoo!
Yeah.
Nice and cool.
now.
Nice and cool, man.
Yeah.
I am. Trust me.
I'm not complaining either, but I would love some more rain, though.
Yeah. Although it's
You like the rain?
Not gonna rain, no.
Exactly. But anyway, we want to welcome our guests tonight. Thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth. You can see that, hey, we the fellas right here, we start vibing, we start talking. So, come on, join on in. Hey, you want to say something, put it in your comments, and we'd love to hear from you. Want to welcome our new viewers tonight. Those of you that are out there, a couple of you that I met today. Hey, thank you for tuning in. If you made it on, throw us a thumbs up, let us know you're here. And we're so glad you took the time to be with us tonight. As we've been talking about our other co-host, Harold, North Carolina. And how's everything with you, brother?
It's not. Everything is good. Everything is good.
Good. I love the new backdrop in the mansion.
Well, yeah, I just moved around.
Okay, hey, when you got a mansion, you can do that. You can mention it over here. You can mention it over there. You can mention all over the place. Which is good. That is so good. I mean, I'm so grateful and glad for you. At the end of the day, it's good. That's just a good thing.
Yeah.
It gives everybody hope. At the end of the day, it truly does.
But yeah, we all need hope right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Do.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
I mean, by all means. But before we get into digging into tonight, guys, of course, is going to be a news buzz with the fellas. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about, boy. Woo, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. But real quick, before we want to celebrate kicking off Women's History Month. Okay, which is a beautiful, beautiful time to celebrate women. I mean, we should be celebrating them every day. Different month, just like Black folk. Okay, at the end of the day, we shouldn't have 1 month to celebrate Black folk. That should be every month. Every day. We should be doing something to celebrate us. As a whole. But we really want to do that. We're going to recognize one of our dear hearts in just a second. That we've chosen right now at this point. And I think each show, what we will do is that we'll take a little spotlight. Some particular woman that has made even remarkable strides in history. Throughout it all. So we'll celebrate her in just a second. Some other point that I wanted to tell you guys. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Starting next week. All right, we're going to drop a little bit on you tonight, but we're going to be focusing on men for the next 2 weeks after this. Men's wellness, health wise, and then so tell your man or your boyfriend or whatever to make sure he tunes in. Okay, because it's going to be really powerful, especially when we're trying to get in here. Next week, Dr. Nicole Benton will be with us. Okay, so she's going to help you dig in and deal with that trauma, men, that you deal with in your life. So we definitely want you to tune in and be a part of that. So it's going to be a great show. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go ahead without further ado. All right. So we're going to talk about Miss Janet Jackson.
All right.
Yes,
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Yes, Miss Jackson. She is our honoree for today. Okay. With her strides and success, and I mean, I can't wait. I mean, the tickets are a little pricey right now, y'all. But we were talking about, hey, we got to see Miss Jackson, and she ain't nasty. Okay,
I'm sure they're more affordable than Beyonce.
Well, yeah, but I don't know now, because I mean, I was looking at Janet, Janet was asking for $400.
It depends on the size of the auditorium or the stadium itself.
But
or
400.
Yeah, but 400 is not that bad. Like I said, it depends on where you're sitting at the concert. Now, if you're sitting front row, now that's a different situation. But 400, I don't know. I could pay $400. I could do $400. I could. And to be honest with you, like I say, Janet, she's a ticket. She's a hot item right now.
Right.
But there was a situation with her nephew, and I know this wasn't the topic to be discussed since we're talking about her for Women's History Month.
Right.
But there was a situation where they somebody had asked her nephew TJ. That's Tito's oldest son.
Uh-huh.
And somebody had asked him, did he approve of his aunt's, sexual acts on stage? And he him being the nephew of his auntie being the performer. You know how we are about certain aunties,
right?
Exactly. And certain uncles. We don't want to see them in that type of situation. Right. But I have always credited Janet Jackson for being a woman who owned her sexuality,
right?
Because a lot of women these days are now doing that. Your Chloe Haley's and all that stuff, Beyonce's. But she was the first, besides Madonna. They opened up that window. But I always thought Janet did a lot of class.
Right. Oh no, I totally agree. But and she. Even on the tours that she's done, she always does this part. She brings a guy on stage and whatever, and seduces him, per se, But it never was raunchy. You know what I mean?
It could have went there, but it never went that far.
But it wasn't. It really wasn't raunchy. It could have. She did. And
you could have honored it.
Yes, we honor you today, Ms. Washington. Yes, we honor you today.
Yeah. Let me finish the point. So. But with that being said, I think that it was really very classy how she introduced that, the seduction, of that. And I think she got a little bit more into it with the Velvet Rope tour, was a little bit more. But the Rhythm Nation tour, I'm sorry. I'm sure, Harry, you probably saw the Rhythm Nation tour when it happened. Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry. That was just the concert to beat all. Okay, I'm sorry. It's like she just set the standard, when it was, and I was so fortunate to get 4 rows from the stage.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, Jack was slinging sweat on me. Was that?
I know she did. Did you hear her?
I heard her. I heard her too.
Right.
So, but it was. I think I stood up the whole time.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk for days afterwards. I was hollering. I was
hollering and screaming.
I was hollering. I was scripting. I was everything. But it was fun. It was really, really fun. It was a very, very fun show, and I really, pay homage to her for that, and so as we celebrate, Miss Janet Jackson for Women's History Month at this particular point.
As long as she didn't rank higher than Shaka Khan, which she's good, because Shaka been on a shade throwing.
Oh, really?
This
she want to know who created that list.
Oh yeah,
and she want to know why Mary J. Blige was singing that song so flat.
Right. Okay.
Don't even get him started.
Oh my God.
Because he hates Mary J. Blige's version of Sweet Thing.
Her version of something. No, it was just what she sung, Sweet Thing.
But I bet you nobody was saying nothing about Chaka Khan when she was on Versus. Not to say Chaka Khan is old school though. You ain't saying nothing about Chaka Khan.
Exactly.
People gonna be quiet.
And I just when you brought it up, I just really wonder why Mary J. just messed up that song. Okay, no, she messed up that song. That song was just so classic. Sweet Thing was Sweet Thing. I'm telling you. I remember as a teenager, I would be at the roller skating rink with Sweet Thing.
My mom read right. I'm a dance person. Dance is an individual, personal expression. Is always beautiful.
That's
right. It is. That's the truth. That's definitely the truth.
Yes,
that is what that's what it's all about. It's and Shaka, she's a legend. She's like Aretha. Aretha and Shaka were good friends, and they threw major shade towards people they didn't.
You didn't nobody mess with them.
So that's Shaka's way of letting them know, letting the youngsters know, y'all ain't above me, honey. I might be drunk, I might be high on stage, but that still doesn't guarantee y'all a better singer than me.
But I love you right at that point. The one thing that has been amazing about Shaka, now I've seen Shaka like three, 4 times, but she's never lost her range and being all of the activities she allowed to go through her body. Okay, right. She put a lot of stuff up in that body. Okay,
resilient. She's resilient.
She's been very resilient about it. I don't know where it was. I don't know. Maybe she whatever. I ain't gonna say all that, but I do remember this. And I'm not throwing her under the bus, but we was recently talking because it's Women's History Month. But I remember one time I went to see Shaka. Oh my God, it was embarrassing because everybody was embarrassed for her. She walked out of.
She's giving us some embarrassing moments, but
yes, she did. Now, she walked out on that stage and fell flat on her face.
Oh no!
I was like, I was like, oh my God. And she like, and she got back up, sweet thing.
She kept going, huh?
She kept going. I was like, oh, no.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
Where the hell is Parnell?
I know, right?
Parnell.
Look, it's been weeks. We ain't seen him. What's going on with him?
Parnell is doing his due. He is doing, he is the other actor of our group. Okay. So he is on stage, in Michigan right now, in Rochester, Michigan, singing his heart out. I know. Okay. And matter of fact, he's on stage as we speak right now. But hey, guess what? We have a little clip of what they're bringing to the Rochester area. And if you're in the Rochester area or in the Detroit area, make sure you go and support our brother. Okay.
You got one more week. You got one more week.
Yeah, that's right, because he's finished up the 12th, I think, right? But anyway, here's a clip from him and his cast doing the best. What was the show?
It's Blues in the Night.
Blues in the Night. That's right. Blues in the Night. So here's a clip.
All right.
When you take me for a ride, when I'm close up by your side, it makes my love come down, riding all around, easy riding, it makes my love come down. If you want to hear me rave, honey, give me what I crave.
You should ask me the amount of my bank account. I'd have to confess it. Yeah, I'm slipping. But that don't worry me, 'cause confidentially, I've got a dream that's a pippin'. And when the day is through, it's not a hurry to a home where love waits. I know. I guess I'm just a lucky so-and-so.
I said, Lord, at times that dirty, no good man would treat me so damn bad. He had me say, Lord, I'm thinking of past times, just thinking of past times. I said, Lord, just thinking of past. I said, that dirty, no good man treats me. He treats me. Yeah, I said he treats me. I tell you, he treats me like child.
All right.
Go ahead, Angela Burgess, who starred in the Clark Sisters movie.
Oh, yeah.
Angela Burgess, she played Jackie Chisholm in the Clark Sisters movie.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that was her. But yeah, go ahead.
On Parnell.
They need to bring that show all over the U.S. I know, just keep touring. Bring it up, especially bring it to L.A. and Charlotte. I don't care what y'all.
Right.
But anyway, we will be right back with News Buzz with the fellas right after this break. Woo.
If you need a dumpster or demolition call, yeah. Call
JUNKSTARZ. It's JUNKSTARZ, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call JUNKSTARZ.
You need dumpster rentals,
call JUNKSTARZ.
If you suffer with high blood pressure, well, this is the recipe for you. We have 4 golden beets, 1 pineapple, 7 carrots, 3 oranges, a piece of ginger, and 2 inches of turmeric. So the carrots have compounds that help to relax the blood vessels. And then we have golden beets that help to improve blood flow. And then we're going to add oranges that are rich with vitamin C. And then turmeric, which is a potent antioxidant. And then that good old pineapple, which is rich with potassium, which helps to lower blood pressure. And then we're going to add ginger, which flushes out toxins. Now, this delicious recipe is going to give us about 50 ounces of juice. Now, don't forget to add a dash of black pepper, which helps to activate the turmeric. Enjoy.
All right. Now.
Wow.
You gonna give us that machine?
Yeah, I know that's right. Before Harold talks about the blood pressure and what that wonderful juice will do, we want to welcome you again to the Truth Behind the Truth tonight. It's a wonderful night. Thank you guys for tuning in and taking the time to be with us. We're celebrating, of course, kicking off Women's History Month. We celebrated Miss Janet Jackson earlier. Yes, all right, you missed that. Go back. We talked about her and all the essence that she's burned. We didn't really get into a whole lot about it because there's so much to talk about Janet. You know, you know, really layers and things. But anyway, so she was our kickoff for Women's History Month. Now we're gonna dig in. Now we're gonna start segueing in a little bit about preparing for next week. Well, talking about men's health. So tonight, Harold's gonna share a little bit about the blood pressure and what juicing can do to benefit you, men. And this is just men, but women too. All right, go ahead, Harold.
Yeah, this is for everybody. Right. But, you know, a lot of people don't realize how important beets are. And I know when people hear beets, they think, ugh, I don't want to, you know, we think of beets when we were kids and how it tasted. But beets actually, when you mix them with the right fruits and vegetables, the taste is really muted. And it has so many nutritional benefits, especially for blood pressure. And a lot of people don't know that, but a lot of people also don't know this other thing that I wanted to share. I did a video today on nutrition and things that are banned in this country. I mean, banned in other countries that are common here. One of the things that I did not know is that bubble gum is banned in other countries like the Union and Japan. And the reason why, it has an ingredient called BHT, which is a preservative that is known to cause cancer in rats. And we give this stuff to our kids all the time, you know. And there's this one, Nutri-Grain. Looks healthy. That's healthy. Blueberry Nutri-Grain. The blue in the Nutri-Grain comes from a derivative that has petroleum in it. And we know petroleum is what they use to
like Vaseline and everything else, right?
Well, yeah. So this is also banned in several other countries, but it's common here in the United States. And the last one that I showed, and I had a funny comment on social media, was frozen breakfast sandwiches like this. They have an ingredient called BHA that's banned in several other countries. And the problem with BHA, it can cause nerve degeneration also hyperactivity. So, a lot of times when we think about mental health, we think that a lot of it is just what's going on in your head. But a lot of it, some of it has to do with what we're putting in our bodies, and we're putting toxic things in our body that affects our mood. Think about it when you've eaten things that had heavy sugar and a lot of carbohydrate. Think about how it made you feel. Maybe brain fog, or just lethargic. So what we put in our body also has a connection to our overall mental health. So we talk about mental health, we talk about stress and trauma, but also what we put in our body also impacts our health.
Wow.
I think McDonald's do that. I think McDonald's do that to us a lot.
Oh, yeah, well, so true, but no, thank you for that here. I mean, that's so enriching. Guys, I hope you are really paying attention to this, and please share this. Share this information. It's very powerful. Share the whole show. Just give them do the link and get out there and share. This is very, very powerful because we have so many people that are struggling with these issues, and really need to make these adjustments. Yes, we are focusing on men because we want men to get better, but this is for everybody. Okay, ladies, I mean everybody, and start your children early. You know what I'm saying? With these good practices.
But it's the definition of wokeism. Right. You just woke me up to that. Yeah, you just made me aware, Harold, of what that is possibly in this food. Not that we have never heard of it, but we just never consider or been considerate of the information that's been given to us because we know this food that has been manufactured and been given so much preservative to last. Because they always say the population is building, it's growing, but the food is ever so slightly reducing. So they're putting so much preservatives into the food to keep a population going. But I want to give this this question to the audience. Give me your definition of woke. Give me your definition of woke. That word has been thrown around all these past few years, and up until now, there's been a big to do about it. But I wrote that woke is to be aware. Okay. You made it clear, Harold, and to be attentive to important societal facts and issues. And it's mostly in situations of racial injustice and society injustice. And spirituality too. So you know what? This is a topic that I wanted to bring up, and I know this is going to segue into something that's very important. Did y'all hear about the situation in Tennessee with the senator that's trying to bring up a lynching law back? Harold,
I might have sent you the information. I'm not sure about it, but
nothing to stress about. But it's something to think about, okay? Because we in certain states we need to be aware of what's going on. If you live in Tennessee, y'all need to be writing your this rep Paul Sherrill because he's trying to make lynching a method for execution. Right.
Wow.
This was never supposed to get out nationwide. This was never supposed to get out nationwide, but because it's getting a lot of coverage, it's now becoming a thing. Now they're trying to cover it up.
It's like it makes me think of the Marvin Gaye song. What's going on? Because didn't I read something about in Mississippi where they're trying to change some laws there?
Laws.
Truth behind the truth. What is going on?
Right.
The truth behind the truth. What is going on? But just to segue into you said about the state of Mississippi. Now that is something where they're trying to really rush in judges of Caucasian, unelected. They're trying to rush these people in without the vote of their peers.
Wow.
And that right there is a scary thing because that was going on during the time of Jim Crow. There was no such thing as a vote from their peers. Or let's just talk about not only blacks but women. White women. So I'm just saying, this is a situation where we're going backwards instead of forwards. And if we're not paying attention, then this situation will fester.
It speaks to what you just said, being awoke. Okay, and
not awoke, JB. It's being woke.
Woke, right?
Being
woke. Period.
Don't tell your young
age. Period. Just woke. Period. Okay. Just woke. Period.
Just
You know,
woke.
and it's really amazing, and I'm glad that it's part of our conversation tonight because I work with young people. On my other job outside of Truth Behind Truth, but these young people are not woke. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because you sit and and the news is on and things like this. And I'm a news junkie, to stay up with it. And they sit there and they're like, "Oh my God, I didn't know this was going on. I didn't know that." But they got that phone in front of them, okay, and swipe, and Instagram and everybody else and Spamgram and everything else they're doing, But it's very. I mean, I don't like to use the term scary, but it's scary to me is that they're going to be surprised as to what happens to them stepping out of the house one day because they're not woke. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they really are not woke, and it's very. And
you
then
know what, JB, I recently read a study that was talking about recent college graduates who are not emotionally ready for the workforce. It was saying how these young people just seem to be so overwhelmed and not prepared, and they attribute it to three things: social media, political and cultural divisiveness, and the pandemic disruption. They said those three things have played a big component in why these young people are not showing up, and not are ready. They're overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed.
So here's another question for you guys tonight, audience. I mean, if you can answer tonight, will be great. Put it in your comments. If you want to pause the pod and refer back to it on next week's show, you can. But here's another question: how do we, as a society, and I'm not talking about just Black people, I'm talking about a society of human beings together. What are we going to do to put ourselves in a position to survive? Okay, because at the end of the day, it's going to come down to survival. And at the point of survival, I'm not going to care what you look like. Okay, whether you're Black, white, Asian, whatever the case may be, I'm going to have to find a common ground with you so that we can survive. But let us not get to the point where we have to be at total survival. But let us find a way. How are we going to? I have the answer, but I want to hear it from you guys. Okay, I want to hear it from you guys as to what you feel that can be done in society. Give us your truth behind your truth and explaining that, because it is really getting.
Renee,
thank you, Renee. Exactly. And thank you for that, Renee. And it's unfortunate we have to make this challenge. We really do. We've got to do it, and it should be a call to action. What I mean? It should be a call to action of humanity to find a way to survive. Because if you keep letting these pasty white men in Washington, okay, all right, and I said it, okay, and it's the truth behind the truth. These pasty white men, I'm now my Caucasian family, y'all know, I love y'all at the end of the day. But them pasty white men, okay, we got to call them out, call it what it is, and everyone.
We talk about everybody. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. We call everybody to
But okay, I'm gonna put it this way: the pasty white men in Washington, scrungy Black men in Washington too. Okay, that's doing ain't right. They ain't got to be doing because they all
nobody gets a pass here.
Nobody gets a pass. No. At the end of the day, for real.
But you know what? I don't care who's in there doing the job. I don't care. The voices still come back to we the people.
Absolutely.
It's in the Constitution.
Absolutely.
Right. I don't care how many of those pasty men are in that building. It goes back to we the people. If you're still sitting there allowing this to keep going on, then you have no one to blame but yourself. That's what woke is all about. You need to be awake to the situations that are going on in your community as well as within your country. Now, I had to put a lady in check, and I didn't put her in check, but I had to re-educate people. This big thing about the Ukraine situation and the money that is going towards the Ukraine. Now, listen, I lived in the South all my life, and one of the things I used to hear growing up was, I don't want the federal government in my backyard. Okay. I think I've heard that before. That's another situation. That's another dog whistle. I don't want the federal government in my backyard. So you cannot complain where the federal government is sending their money when you've been complaining for many years of states' rights. And I don't want you in my backyard telling me how to live my life, which church to go to, and who you think I should marry. You have those people who don't believe in gay marriage. I don't want the government telling my children, showing them drag queen shows and stuff like that. Truth behind the truth. Those are the people who are complaining about Biden sending that money to the Ukraine because they don't want They don't want that money to go over there,
Right.
but they want to think that it's a business transaction with Biden. But that's a situation. That's a layered situation.
Right.
But that's just be factual.
Right.
You got to pick a side. You
Right.
have to pick a side to
Right.
what you want.
Right.
And if you don't want the federal government in your backyard, stop taking subsidies from the government.
Well, okay.
Right.
Truth
Now,
behind the truth.
Truth behind truth. Now that is wow. That's a solid moment right there. That's
Now
a
I do
very
want
solid
the
moment.
government. I want the federal government in my backyard with these student loan relief.
too.
I would like
Me
my
too.
$20,000.
As an African American, I need the government in my backyard.
No, I mean you're right about that, Harold. But I mean, and then there's certain things, of course, you want them in your backyard. You know,
Yeah,
get what I'm saying?
you need the government in your backyard.
but not to the point that they're telling you how to live your life. That's the different part about that.
All
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
all right.
You don't want them telling you how. You don't want them telling women what they can do with their bodies. You don't want them telling who to love, who
No.
to marry. They don't need to know all the damn information. That's too much.
Okay.
Okay,
No.
that's way too much.
But we would like some student loan relief. We would like
Right,
that.
exactly.
Tell
now
me
that
about
that
it.
that part of overreach is okay. You see what I'm
So I'm hoping the Supreme Court gets it together on this
Right.
issue. I don't even know why it's
wait
an
a minute,
issue.
though.
Clarence Thomas.
Yeah. But anyway, we will
Yeah.
pick this up in a bit.
That's
'Cause
another
we got more to talk about tonight, guys. It's
Yes.
been really, really good. So we'll see you after this quick break.
Yes.
All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the Truth Behind the Truth. Gossip with the fellas right now.
I know, right?
Were we gossiping? Nah, we weren't gossiping.
We were ranting a little bit
No, we're just
now.
telling the truth behind the truth. Okay,
Behind the truth, right? We ranting a little bit.
Gossip, man. We're
No,
not
no,
low
we-
vibration people like that. We are not low vibration people.
No, we are not. Okay,
We're
so
not
we're
Dr.
not.
Theo.
we are not. We're trying to
That
replace
is
that.
low
We try-
vibration right there.
we trying to replace Dr. Phil. Okay, at the end of the day. So, hey, NBC. What is he on? NBC. What he on? CBS. CBS. We're waiting to call. Right. The
Now-
four of us will be there. The View needs a competitor, okay? And 4 men to go against the View. You see what I'm saying? You know, at the end of the day. So, see, I don't want to call myself Whoopi. But, you know, Whoopi is my heart. I love me some Whoopi. But, you know, why you looking at me like that?
I didn't say
Oh,
it.
Can we talk about that picture? Can we talk about that picture that you sent me that's creating all kind of havoc
Which
on
one?
the social media streets with Michael B. Jordan?
Oh, my gosh. I was going to go into that. But, yes, go ahead. Give your point, please.
No, can we talk about that?
Oh, yes,
I just find it
yes,
interesting
yes,
that that's such an issue.
And I don't know why either, but we're going to hear each one of our points about that. To me, this is such a wow. There's so much great emotion that comes out of this picture, and then I'm going to talk about the stupidity that people put out there about things like this. But so much great emotion that I think that they took in the time, and the photographer, you know, and from what I read, the photographer just said, just be yourself, be free, you know, for this particular moment.
Like an
you know?
Al Pacino, they remind me of Al Pacino and De Niro. You know how they, you know how the pictures that they have been taking over the years, because,
right?
You know they've been that dynamic duo for so long in movies. I think they're going to be the new the new It. Yeah. I think that's going to be there.
I'm all for it. You know?
I'm all for that.
So, but and you know, and then you know this hyper masculinity situation that's going on throughout society, and I mean, typically, unfortunately, it attacks the black man in society. You know, I think that we hear about it more. You know, and that's another unfortunate thing. But let me finish my point. We'll dig into this.
Go ahead.
So you know, so the article was basically when it was brought up, it was about the photographer just said, you guys just kind of like hang out, you know, just kind of like, you know, and then have conversation, you know, and during the conversation, you know, I think one of the poses where he touched him on his head, you know, and it was feeling, and then the other point was that they embraced one another, okay, and it was like, wow, you know, and it made such a sincere and truthful and honest impact. You know, can we get a celebration for men being able to be true and honest and loving each other without this label of everything has to be a same gender relationship? They have to be having sex. They got to be trying to stop the world from moving because they actually love each other. You know, I mean, it's so unfair. You know, and then now here's the flip side. I'll let you guys speak. The derogatory comments that came on Twitter, typically from the people of color, I think it's appalling. It is appalling.
Well, social media is appalling.
Well, that's
social
true.
media is appalling. That's why I feel like you can, you know, it's okay to get a reaction in real time from people, but sometimes that reaction is not really the correct reaction, because some people don't get it. I think, you know, this is my thing, probably in this country alone, because I don't see this over here in other places or in other countries. Male affection is not a problem, but for some strange reason, and it could be based on patriarchy and misogyny here in America, because it's a very strong factor. Because, you know, since the beginning of this, you know, let's just say the creating of this country has been based on male misogyny, control, patriarchy type of situation where men dominated everything, it seemed like. So you're getting still that clout even in today's time, where you have certain people who feel like a man should not show emotion. Still to this day, a man should not cry. It's just crazy things. Crazy. It's like a litmus test. A litmus test. I'm so sorry. A litmus test to what a man should strive to be. And you know, one thing, I have always had to turn that off for myself, for my own mental wellness, because sometimes that does sink into your psyche, where you start asking yourself questions: am I man enough? And that's what they're trying to do with Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan. They call him corny in a way, but they're corny and making money. I'd rather be corny and making money than be ultra masculine and not making no money at all.
Absolutely.
I mean, did you see that clip of that guy on TikTok saying that he has impregnated 7 women? Yes. 7 women. He had impregnated 7 women and told them that he did not want children, but he hit it raw. Now, this is a man. This is a man.
Truth behind the truth.
No emotion. He showed no teary out of anything that he didn't take accountability for no wrongdoing. You want that type of man that's going to just hit it raw and tell you to your face, I don't want your child? Or would you want somebody corny showing you the definition of what a man should be when he has emotion and thinks and has eternal emotion and thinks about his whereabouts? I'd rather go for the corny Russell Wilson than the toxic Future. I'd rather go truth behind the truth. I want a corny Russell Wilson than a toxic Future who has a harem of baby mamas that he don't care much about. He don't care too much about. Truth behind the truth. Put it in the comment section. Do you want a man that's toxic, or do you want a man that's corny? Women out there, hey, think about it. Think about it. Put it in the comments.
Better say it. Go ahead.
Well, that's one of the commandments of masculinity, it seems, in this culture. Thou shalt not have any feelings. That's one of the commandments that we adhere to. And it's unfortunate because I think a lot of it is rooted in the fact that there's so many families, Black families without Black fathers. And so there was never, folks don't have a model, and we need to see behavior modeled. And if you've never seen it modeled, you will make it something that's perverted or something that is not innocent. And it's so unfortunate. I remember Smokey Norfolk, the gospel singer, was a picture of him that went viral with his son laying on his chest. I think his son had been like 15, 16. And they made that into something like sexual. This is his son. And it's like, he can't comfort, hug, and, you know, be there for his son in that way. It's just so very interesting how trauma just has us so confused, and the lack of role models has us confused. Like, men are human. You feel, you cry, you get scared, you are human. And so to feel as though you have to act like you don't feel, that has to make you crazy.
Right. Well, it furthers, I think it intensifies it. It wasn't say put gasoline on the trauma. You know what I'm saying? By expecting that, how, you know, expect you to behave that way. Here's another interesting historical point. Okay. I don't know where it happened, you know, because I wasn't necessarily privy to this period of time, but where it happened, because men previously to a certain era, and I think it's like right after 68, it's like all of a sudden they just went stupid. You know what I mean? And they couldn't, you know, they couldn't embrace but Martin Luther King embraced everybody that was in his circle.
Can you blame the crack era?
I don't know. It was before the crack era. Something happened somewhere. I don't know. But I'm just using them as a frame, you know, because in the 60s they embraced. You know what I'm saying? It's like they were so glad to be able to hug their brother, you know, and they were so glad to, and all of a sudden, I mean, it's just like, and I'm saying men in general, they went stupid. You know, it's like, well, I can't get you, get in my face, you know, whatever the case may be. And one of the things that is about how, you know, men, well, typically, the historic point about shaking hands, okay, a little historical point about shaking hands was done basically in a war culture, okay. What it was to develop in a war culture. So what happened is that you would extend the hand to your enemy, but that enemy could never get anywhere close to you. So you looked at them as an enemy, and it was a point of starting or an agreement of war. It was an agreement of war where the handshake came in, which then it blossomed into something else. So what happened is that men started acting this way. So they started not allowing themselves to get close, because it was a natural part to be embraced by your brother. But what happens when they stuck the hand out there, it stopped it. You know what I'm saying? So that action stopped it from, you know, from it being occurred. But anyway, like I said, I just, you know, we've got to find a way, men, we've got to find a way to bring this a part of our natural culture, and not get on social media when you have two men that really sincerely care about each other and has wanted to introduce the true affection between two men, not in the ways that, again, like we've emphasized before, but, you know, and bring that to the world. You know, and
we have to heal. We have to heal so we can show up for ourselves and we can show up for our families. Because if we're not, like D, the guy you were talking about, he was saying he doesn't want to have anything to do with his 7 kids. Those are his kids too. And he's blaming the fact that they're here on the women that I guess he felt like they should have taken protection. But, you know, that's his child. Those are his children too. And, you know, until we take accountability and own up to, you know, the fact that, you know, that's our kid, and love our kids the way they're supposed to be loved, but he can't love his kids the way they need to be loved, because based on what I saw that video, he has a lot of trauma, and he probably would do more harm to his children if he were in their lives, and kind of in the state of mind that he's in.
I hope they find him and hold him accountable. You know, it's so sad. It took Iyanla Vanzant how many episodes about the guy who had 37 children? To be honest with you, he was just going out there, just spreading his seed, laying it low and spreading it wide. And sure enough, they held him accountable, and he didn't want to hear it. And it took him 3 shows to get it. But I want to go back to this notion, you know, everybody, and you know, I'm gonna put it out there. The religion has, let's say this. The churches did a number. Because we have to understand that in religion, most of that talk of patriarchy, it comes from the pulpit itself.
Right.
When you have a bunch of men in a pulpit telling women to stand down,
right,
you telling men lead the household, but not telling them how, not even have a clear understanding what leading a household it means. Because see, you have a bunch of men that say, well, I'm out there working. You tend to the kids. I don't have time for all that craziness. So you have a bunch of kids that don't see the father, because he's out there either working or he might have another household. That's just call a spade a spade, because they don't have time. And because they put the burden on the woman, because the church has told the woman, you need to make sure that the children are handled, and that and that your man is king. But there needs to be a conversation on both ends about that type of love is so toxic to any community. It's black or white. And I'm just saying, because I have lived in that life. I have seen it through my eyes that there are that conversation always starts in on that type of platform. But you have TD Jakes, he have tried to break that cycle. But you still have some tribes, not the tribes. The tribes. I call them tribes.
No, that's true. That's
that
what
archaic tribe that is still out there making this nonsense. But I'd be damned if they talk about the war on AIDS. I'd be damned if they talk about the war on poverty, because they need that money to circulate through that church building. So wake up to this situation. We have to break this cycle. This cycle that's just been going through our community, through many communities for many, many years. And that's what really got women that snatched up Roe v. Wade. I'm sorry, them evangelicals were on that. They put money away, put money into breaking up that law. So you have to think about this type of situation. I'm just saying, truth behind the truth. You got to teach love.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Harold.
And let's talk about the impact of fathers not being present. 85% of youth who are in jail are fatherless. 85%. 71% of all high school teen dropouts are fatherless. So fathers make a difference. You know, they make a difference in their lack of presence and their lack of, and not only being present, because sometimes people are present but not really present, like there but not really there, not really connected to their children and their families. They may be present physically but not emotionally connected. And children, we need that. Well, I ain't a child anymore, but children, well, not when I was gray hair. But you know, when you are a child, you need a man figure, particularly as a boy. You need a man to speak life into you, to tell you that you can be and do whatever you dream that is possible for you. You need that, and you need that behavior model. You need to see what it looks like to be a man, to show up, to take care of your family, to love your wife, to love your family, and to provide that emotional support. If you don't see that demonstrated and see that in real time, you don't know what it looks like. So then you go out and you navigate to other folks who don't know nothing either, and so y'all are kind of the blind leading the blind, and so you end up kind of getting your instructions from gangs and people who don't know any better.
Crazy uncles, crazy uncles,
you know,
who ain't no better either. You don't even have to go to a game. You just have people within your family that are just as toxic as a gang member. But you know, the saddest thing about that is I feel like at the end of the day, there needs to be a conversation of people. It needs just to be a conversation breaking away that cycle, chipping away at that cycle of why a man should never have no type of emotion.
Gosh, yeah. You know, let me bring it. I'm gonna jump in here. Audience, I'm bringing a picture up to the camera. I want you guys to see that real quick. I should have had us prepared for it, but it just kind of struck a nerve, Harold, when we knew we're talking about great men behind you and whatever. So my cousin sent me this photo. It's me there, the little guy right there, yesterday, and I was looking at it, and it brought tears to my eyes.
Wow.
I had to put, and then I called Dylan and was sharing it with them, and it literally brought tears to my eyes to be able to see that again. I had wanted to see my dad. You know, my dad transitioned in 1974, so it's been a long window. This is not even to be beholding his face. You know what I'm saying? And to get this and to see these strong men, my uncle, which is behind me, he's still around, and this is my other uncle, which is my cousin, actually my cousin Twana's father, which she's probably looking tonight as well. But that was his father. This was this photo was probably in 1968. If I'm telling my age, but but it's like not probably like 1968, and I loved my dad.
How old were you in that picture?
I don't know, about 8 or 9, probably something like that.
Holly.
But yeah, I wanted to show that, just as a point that it really, really touched me, because I had wanted to see my dad, for so long,
Wow.
And for that moment, and that picture just brought back all of those wonderful memories of him. My dad was an affectionate dad. Okay, my dad, me and my dad, I would crawl up in my dad's arms, literally, and go to sleep or watch TV with him. His favorite show was Lawrence Welk. Okay, and I would sit there with him, and he would love to watch that particular show. So just to say to your point, Harold, truth behind the truth here. Ladies, if you don't have a good, solid man in your life for your children, find somebody that's out and extended from that. You see what I mean? At the end of the day, let them take on that role. Men, get your shit together. Okay?
Heal, man. We're not gonna blame you for the trauma that you experienced, but you are responsible for your own healing.
Absolutely, you totally are. And let me address this before I know we got to cut another break coming up just a minute. But let me address this part too. It's going back to what you were saying about how religion and the church has so separated families, and we don't want to hear the truth behind the truth with this, but it has. Okay, because we have all of these belief systems, all of these denominations, all of these other type of things. Well, this is the head, this is that. You can't do this, or Satan doing this, and the devil doing. Look, leave the devil out your life. Number one, period. At the end of the day, okay, stop inviting an entity that has already been defeated, okay, at the cross. Okay, so stop bringing the devil into your life. Okay, then you got to worry about.
Let's find the love. Let's find the love.
All right, bring the love into your life. Execute love. That is what the cross represents. Okay, and if we want to bring church into the fact, let's start with the love. Love God first, love yourself, and love humanity. That is the process of this show and everything else. If you follow those 3 principles, guess what? All the things that we've been talking about tonight will be a small or till a non-factor. Okay, it will be a preacher. Okay,
I told him.
It'll be a non-factor. Bottom line, whether you agree with me or not, it doesn't matter. Check the book out. Okay, check the book out. Jesus said, what did he say? First, 3 things he said. All the rest of the 7 don't matter at all. But if you keep the 3, you are keeping the 7. So line up with the 3, and you'll line up with the 7. All right, we got to move on. All right,
I was going to say, Jesus is saying it's time for a commercial break.
He did. Okay, so we can work with commercial. We'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. Thank you once again for tonight. I know we've been throwing some stuff at you tonight, but it's all good. Okay, it's all done in love.
Put it in the comment section. Put it in the comment section.
Because this is the truth behind the truth. Now, truth behind the truth means just what it means. Yeah. The truth behind the truth. Now, this truth may not be your truth. It's okay.
That's right.
At the end of the day, but you have to find your own truth behind your truth. That's why this show is called this, so you can pursue it. Because the bottom line, we want you to be authentic.
Yeah, we're not going to indoctrinate you. Trust me. We don't want to indoctrinate anybody. anybody into whatever truth that we believe in. Trust me, we believe in individuality and authenticity. So if you have a different belief than us, that's okay. That's America in a way, right?
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely. So, hey, anything that we come direct, and you know me, I'm gonna come direct, okay?
Amen.
And I'm coming at it in love because I want to see you celebrate your life and be woke. And be woke. But anyway, so Harold, did you have another point you want to share tonight before we kind of bring it to a close?
No, I hope that our conversations, are always definitely rooted in love, but I think part of it is meant to be disruptors to the norm, disruptors to, thought patterns that have limited us, and kind of held us captive and in spaces that are not fruitful for us. So I think part of what our job is to disrupt the norm.
Amen.
That's good.
Be a critical thinker. Be a critical thinker. Because let me tell you something. Right now, we're going through phases in our life where people are banning things, banning books, banning all types of things that you didn't think, what the heck is that all about? But you need to be a critical thinker in your life. You need to understand that critical thinking skills really saves lives. It saves a whole lot of lives. So we, being the disruptors, we're critically thinking on the spot about certain things. So you know what? Be a critical thinker in your own life.
Absolutely.
That's what
I told and it's just so unfortunate that critical thinking is banned like anything else.
Yes, it is.
Because people, I mean, it goes back to the trauma, okay? Because when you start to think, number one thing is that you become exposed to yourself.
Oh wow, yeah.
Okay, you become exposed to yourself, and you can no longer hide from the truth. Okay, man, that's good. You know what I mean? You can no longer hide from the truth. So therefore, we fight the opportunity to be critical thinkers. I mean, not here in general,
but you know
fight
that. But to be a critical thinker is so layered. Now, when I'm saying being a critical thinker, I'm not being critical thinker in ignorance.
Okay.
Do your research.
Yes.
Do research. I tell people all the time, when somebody brings me something that I don't know, to me, I tell them I don't know anything about that, but I'll look into it. Because I'm not going to go by what you have told me. I'm going to go pick up a book or pick up my phone and type into it and see what the heck you're talking about. So when we have this conversation again, I'm going to let you know what I know and that you might be wrong in your assessment.
Right. Exactly.
Don't be a critical thinker in ignorance.
Right.
Be a critical thinking in truth.
That's good.
And trust your heart. And trust your heart.
And trust your heart.
Yes. Yes.
As Americans, we need to do that for ourselves. Right. Yes. All right. I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. Oh, well, John D. Rockefeller was just like them Shark Tank people.
Okay.
That's why President Theodore Roosevelt was fighting him tooth and nail on those monopoly situations, because he was trying to control everything that was going in and out of the U.S. It's just, what? That's a situation. That's a whole nother situation right there. But it's something to think about right now, because you got Donald J. Trump.
Yes.
Another what's his name? Well, Rockefeller. People, he doesn't want a people of thinkers. He want a people of workers. Right. A nation of workers. So you have to think about these things. People are telling you to your face what type of America they want. You better start waking up and being woke. Amen. Hey, truth behind the truth, right?
The truth behind the truth. I'm just going to give the JB rap like this. Stay woke, wake up, don't go to sleep. Okay, be on point, love everybody that you can, love people through their trauma, and help them become better. And men, get behind your men, ladies, get behind your boys, women, get behind your men if your husband, whatever, and help these men, because at the end of the day, we need y'all.
And let these men help you
men,
too.
At the end of the day, we need, I know, right? We need each other. We truly do. So it has been a great night, guys. I mean, thank you for tuning in tonight. Yes. Thank you for taking the time out. Thank you for our new audience tonight, for taking the time and participating with us. We really appreciate
Tawana,
that.
Renee, Greg, Mom.
Yes, Mama, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. And hey, we'll be right back here again next week, same time, same station. All right, till we take over Dr. Phil's spot. Okay, because we went out to the universe, baby. We are going network.
We're manifesting.
We go network. We pulling it in. But anyway, have a wonderful night. We'll see you back next week and continuing about the support and helping men get better. That's what we're focusing on.
Let's rise, people. Let's rise.
Let's rise up. Have a great night. Thanks for tuning into what? The truth behind the truth. Good night, y'all.